Kadosh, Parashat Nizavim. This is the Peticha, Shara Rishona, Ben Ish Hai. It says over here like this: Ki karov elecha davar me'od, beficha uvilvavecha la'asoto. He says it's so close to you that it's in your mouth and in your heart to do so. Nireli b'siyata d'ishmaya, so it appears to me in siyata d'ishmaya, al pi ma shektav mahari. According to that which Mahari Abuhav brings down Rabbi Yitzchak Abuhav. Yeah, he comes and he says like this. He says, "Midivrei Rabotenu zan, v'agadav bereshit bepasuk shimud dvar Hashem, en davar ela shmirat Shabbat." When it says shimud dvar Hashem, what is dvar Hashem? Dvar is shmirat Shabbat. Just like you say, "Kimad de'atamer," just like you say, "Mitzorcha tzchav v'dvar." Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, "Afilu im avartem al aseret hadibrot." Even if it's going to be that you're going to go against aseret hadibrot, right? He comes and he says, "Shimru Shabbat," right? Ve'eslach lachem. You're going to be shomer Shabbat, and I'm going to come and I'm going to forgive you. Okay, Mitzuyan. So says the Gemara. Od amru Razal, this is Midrash Rabbana. Bereshit Rabbah, Amra Shabbat lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, says Shabbat in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lechol hayamim natata ben zug, ve'li lo natata. Why did you give a ben zug to everybody except for me? Amar, he says Israel will be your ben zug. Nimtza. Yesh kruva gdola liYisrael im HaShabbat. It means mamash Shabbat is our pair, is our half, right? This is mamash, you understand? So therefore he says beram. V'dayin kvar zuneg b'nehem elim ken yisrael. That's only if we keep Shabbat, right? Like the halacha, machshava, tibur, v'maaseh. Te'af al pi shamru Razal, even though, right, Razal came and they said in the Gemara on Shabbat before you give them bet, tibur asur yidu mutad, you're not allowed to speak, but you're allowed to think. Meaning you could think in business on Shabbat. You're not allowed to speak about business on Shabbat. En kedushato shel Shabbat shlema. The kedusha of Shabbat is not going to be shalem, ela im ken yizayir bo gam ken beirur, unless you're going to be careful also in hirur. Kmo shekedu b'shulchan aruch, just like it's brought down in Shulchan Aruch, v'chanizkar b'poskim za. It's brought down in poskim. Yeah, v'zeu shamar, and that's what it says. Ki karov elecha davar me'od. That it's so close to you. Ze ha-Shabbat ha-mechuneh b'shem davar. This is a Shabbat which is called davar. So this is as long as it's going to be beficha uvilvavecha la'asoto. What does that mean? In your mouth and also in your hearts. Meaning not only just in your mouth, which is the dibur, even in the hirhur, right? It's not only just enough. You have to watch it b'maaseh. Ela tzarich b'dibur. But rather you need it also b'dibur. Shabapel v'hirur alev gamken. That should be also. So he says ve'az attempt you ben zug l'Shabbat. Then you're going to be a ben zug l'Shabbat. Or you understand it according to that which was written in Otiyot Rekiva. En davar el lashon mitzvah. So beforehand we said davar was Shabbat, Shmirat Shabbat. Now we're saying davar is mitzvah. Shneimar says in pasuk ki davar Hashem bazah. That the words of Hashem he disgraced. Yadua de ramach aseh v'shesal lo ta'aseh. So we know that the 248 positive commandments and 365 negative commandments are parallel to the 248 organs and the 365 sinews in the body. Every single body part and every limb and everything is connected to a mitzvah. But they ask, you can't fulfill the mitzvot. Yeah? Mitzvah vibum. Can a person be mekayim? Only if he has a brother that passes away without a child. The mitzvah of kohanim, all those, yeah. Mitzvot of shmita, only the Israel, Bet HaMikdash. There's a lot of mitzvot. You can't do all 613. But we answer, the nishlam betariad mitzvot al yidei dibur, the koreh bahem kilu kiyem. Meaning when we come and we learn the mitzvot, we are mekayem the mitzvot. And therefore, what happens is the fact that we're learning about whether it could be shmita, whether it's going to be a gibum, so it's kilu that we are mekayem is it. גם מחשבה, right? שמחשב, right? When is this mitzvah going to come to your hand? You're going to fulfill it. And that's what it means. כי קרוב אליך הדבר. When it's going to be very close to you, these things. הם תרי"ג מצוות. כי המצוות מכונה בשם דבר. Right? Because the mitzvah is going to be מכונה בשם דבר. Now, even though you cannot do מעשה in all of them, right? Which means you cannot fulfill all these mitzvot. But the fact that you could actually speak about those mitzvot and then you think that you want to be mekayim those mitzvot if they would come to you, So it's ki'idu that you actually did do those mitzvot. So that's another explanation in the davar. O yuva mesiyata dishmeya, di'ita be'otiyot rekiva. En davar el refuah. The word davar means refuah. Shneimar yishlach devaro v'yitbahem. V'yadua. That tshuva hi refuah leolam. So we know teshuvah is always good. So we know that teshuvah is always a refuah. As it says in the pasuk, el pam yeshuvatam. V'yikar teshuvah shetirapeh et ha'adam ki asher tiyeh b'peh u'vlev yachta. So the yikar teshuvah is going to be in the heart and the mouth. Because that's what it says. Ki karov elecha davar refuah teshuvah yideh sheb'richa v'gorach l'soto. Or we can understand peh v'lev, the miluam is peh, he, lamed, bet. So if you take the peh, because technically you could write the peh in different ways. Also the hey, you could write it in different ways, right? So therefore, if you write the words the way that he just wrote it, which is peh, he, lamed, bet, olim mispar tokef. You know, most tokef ha'adam yideh techburot ha'peh v'alev yachad. When you come and you put them both together, the peh v'alev, that's when you show the strength. ולכן מספר נזכור למספר קידושה עליונה. אז על ידי שלמות הפועל בלהב יחדיו, יזכה אדם לקדושה עליונה, person will come and get קידושה עליונה. גם פה ולב. Right? He says במילואם, הוא מספר שופר. So also when you put פה לב, right, you have שופר. לרמוז, התעוררות התשובה, רמז זה בשופר. We know that when you're going to come and you're going to, right, you're going to do this התעוררות of תשובה, which is in the shofar. So he comes and he says, how do you do it? With your pen or with the lip? שופר is שיפרו מעשיכם. צריכה להיות שלמה, בפה ובלב יחד. לא תהיה בפה דווקא. It's not only just with your mouth. הנה ידוע בכל ענייני שופר רומזים לתשובה. We know that the shofar, everything is to do to תשובה. לכן אמרו רז"ל, that's what the רז"ל say בצדו של איל, ופירשו בו של ללמוד שצריך לעשות תשובה בהודות בתוקף החומר. When he's still very, very young, he's still, לכן שופר מספר תוקף. That's why also shofar is the מספר of, right, תוקף. Yeah, so he comes and he says, right, גם צריך שיהיה השופר כפוף. That's why he comes and he says that the shofar should be כפוף. רמז בעל תשובה, that it should be בעל תשובה, שיהיה ליבו כפוף ונכפף, כאשר העריך הגאון השלה הקדוש, ורמזי השופר על ענייני תשובה, just like he mentioned on ענייני תשובה. So we finished mentioning that the shofar is also the concept of tokef, right? What siman in Shulchan Aruch is ilchot shofar? Siman tokef. Taf, kuf, pei, vav. That's a siman, how to remember. Huh? מה שתוקין תקיעה ושברים תרועה ותקיעה בסדר זה תחילה. So why do we do first tashrat? What's going on exactly? היינו כי התקיעה רומזת לשמחה וטובה. תקיעה is שמחה. טובה, good. It's long. שמחה וטובה. שברים תרועה רומזים לצער וייסורים. There's a person, we always say, why is a person doing the truah or the shvarim? The person crying. Does a person goneach? Does he cry? Or does he cry? Or does he cry like this? Like that you're doing all three. So the tekiah is simcha v'tova. Shvarim truah is tzar v'yisurin, is suffering. Ki zeh yilul yilil. That's what it is. Zeh giluch ganach. So he comes and he says v'lachikach, and therefore אין עושים תקיעה ושברים במשך אחד לשמר אחת. We never do תקיעה and shvarim together, right? As the levush brings down, which means that you always have to come and you always have to do, right? There's always going to be a hefsek between one another. Because each one, you're not going to mix them together. Meaning, when do we have an entire question to do with neshima achat or shte neshimot? Neshima achat and shte neshimot is in the shvarim truah itself, but not in the tashat, because in the tkiya and shvarim or tkiya and truah, there are two different things. A tkiya is simcha, right? The tkiya is simcha. Shvarim and the truah are things of sad things. We know that there was a famous story of a person that he made a tabat. And what did it say on the ring? It will also pass by. So when he's in tsar, he's going to see it. He's going to be calmed down. But when he's good, he's going to see it, and then he's not going to become haughty, right, with all his riches and everything. But this will also pass, and he doesn't always have kiyum. The same thing here. Person should not be romez, but he shouldn't be haughty, right? And he has to think that after simcha will come the sorrow. ותוקים אחר התרועה, and therefore we do תקיעה after the תרועה, רומז לצער וייסורין, עוד פעם, תקיעה רומז לטובה. לרמוז to say, אם עומד בצער, אל יתייאש מן הרחמים. You understand what happened? That's the Gamza Yavor. The beginning one, right? One more time. What was the entire concept? He says like this. He says, right? Tokim achar tkiya haromez el tova. That means after the tova, you're going to start doing shvarim truah, which is the sad, the yitzurim, the tzad. You start doing that. Why? Don't be too haughty. Why? You just did a tkiya. You're happy. You're good. 1 second. Don't be too haughty. Put down the nose. So for what? But then afterwards, again, you do another tkiya. Why do you need to do another tkiya afterwards? Again, because he says afterwards will come again that even though, right, he comes and he says it'll be good, right? That's what he comes and he says, Imomed betzar al yitesh min harachamim. Don't be mitesh min harachamim. Don't give up hope from the mercy. You have to see, you have to say, you have to think. Sofa kavod lavo. It will come afterwards. It will come good. Do you know that the tkiya is very long? Right? The tkiya is long. So he says, Lirmoz, Hatov Yavo Biltia, that go Meshech a long time. But the Shvarim, they're Kochok Tzarim. Why? The Tsar comes Miat Miat. Just like the Pasuk says, it says, Hi Hashem Miskav Ladach, Miskav Lito Batzara, Shechalek et Echad Gadol Shel Tzara Lito Ktanim. Kedei Shispalem Ha'adam Lo Yemut. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, with his chesed, he comes, and if the person was supposed to pass Tzar, he's not going to give it to him in one injection. He'll kill him on the spot. So what does he do? A little bit. Little bit by little bit, little bit by little bit. Why does he do that? Like the shvarim, that it's broken. Because if not, he wouldn't be able to withstand it, and he will actually die. We always know that the shofar, one side is small, and one side is wide. Why is it like that? You have to do it on the small part. So where you're grabbing, it becomes bigger and bigger. A Baal Tshuva always has to be adding on to Avodat Hashem. Just like it says in the Gemara, Shabbat Kufnum Bet Amudal, Tamich Chachamim Kol Mash Maskinin, Datam Mesutzunim Alehem, Gam Ramzu Bezeh Tmuna Shetzido Echad Ketzu Tzido Echad Rachav, Etokev Etzid Katzal Limoz Ki Ot Shel HaTeshuvah Shiyot Hey Yesh Lam Shnei Ptachim. We know that the letter which refers to Teshuvah is the letter Hey. You have two entrances in the letter Hey, two holes, one on the bottom, one on the side. Chad Rachav Echad Katzar. A Baal Tshuva Liot Bekatzar. The Baal Tshuva should always go in the Katzar. The that way it's going to help him more. The Baal Tshuva, right, בדברים של מטה, הם שייכים לעלות העולם הזה, יקצב ויקומץ מהם. He has to actually minimize it. בדברים שייכים למעלה, but things to do with the nefesh, בהרחבה וריבוי, you have to do a lot. ובאופן אחר, another explanation also, יש את תבונת השופר, את השופר לפי מעשה בישוע בן חנניה. That is brought down in Neruvin, Gimel Amud Bet. What's written over there? Neruvin Gimel Bet. Amr Bishop Ben Chananya said, Bishop Ben Chananya, Niyamailo Nitzchani Adam Chutz Mishav. Nobody ever won me except for, right, a woman, a child, and meaning a boy and a girl. It says, what was the case of the woman? Right? One day a woman came, yeah, and what happened is that one day a woman came and she made him beans, like beans pulling. Yom Rishon, the first day he ate it, he didn't leave anything over. The second day he didn't leave it. On the third day she burnt it. Yeah. Once he tasted it, he took his hands away. So she says, Rabbi, why don't you eat? So he said, I already ate. Amrali, so she told me, so then why are you eating bread then? Meaning, if you already ate, why you keep on eating bread? So she says, Rabbi, right? Maybe you didn't leave anything over in the first time around. Says you don't leave over in the pot, you leave it over in the plate. What does that mean? From here we learned that so you don't finish the plate. You always leave a little bit over. A little bit. You leave something over on the plate. Tinoket. What is tinoket? Mahi. I was once passing by, and it was a shortcut, and I passed by. Amrali tinoket. So tinoket came. She said, Rabbi, there's not a sadeh, it's not a field. So she went and she said, right? Amartila. So I told her, no derech kvusha. He says, what? It's already everyone already goes by here. So Amrali, she told me, thieves like you were the ones that conquered it. You understand? So she won him. Okay, very good. Tinok, mahi. What is a tinok? פעם אחת הייתי מהלך בדרך. I was once going on the path. וראיתי תינוק יושב בפרשת דרכים. So I saw תינוק that he was on the פרשת דרכים. This should be ואמרתי לו. Right? ואמרתי לו, right? באיזו דרך נלך לעיר? How are we going to go to the city? אמר לי, he told me, זו קצרה וארוכה וזו ארוכה וקצרה. This short but long, the other one is long one. So what did he do? He went to the long one, but then it was the short one, which was long. כיוון שהגעתי לעיר, once he got to the city, מצאתי שמקיפין אותה גינות ברזים. There were orchards and there were gardens. חזרתי לאחוריי. I had to go back. אמרתי לו, I told him, בני, you told me it was קצרה. He told me no, but I told you it was also ארוכה. I kissed him and he said, אשריכם, he said, שכולכם חכמים גדולים. Look how great you guys are. אתם מגדולתכם, even from the great ones, אתם מגדולתכם, מגדולכם, עד כותלכם, everybody. יש הגונה אחידה בפתח עיניים, שמעשיות אלו לא היו ממש. These actually never happened. That means these stories, we thought that they actually occurred. They never occurred. אלא בישום החניה, הקטע אחי בדרך משל, וזה משל, ללמד בזה תוך המוסר, to teach מוסר. To know that because it's known. ימי אדם חלוקים בשלושה זמנים. A person's life is divided by three different things. ימי עלייה, ימי עמידה, ימי ירידה. Days that they go up, steady, they go down. האדם משני המקים שהם עלייה ועמידה, נמשך אחרי חומר העולם הזה, מלא תאוותו באבלי העולם הזה. So basically the times of עלייה and עמידה, so the person is going after all the תאוות in this world. ולא יפנה לעסוק, אולי לעסק עולם הבא, he's not going to pay attention to עולם הבא. ורק בימי הירידה, but only when the person is already becoming weaker, when he's already, 1 foot out, that's when all of a sudden he starts separating and he starts doing teshuvah. And that's why it says, Nitarachti etzel achsanya, which is olam hazeh. He's by a person in this world, right? That's an achsanya, right? Astali pulin, she went and she did, pulin, what is pulin? Otiot ploni, which means, his minato letavat hachomer achul shel yetzer ra, hanimshach mi ploni. Miyom rishon shu min aliyah, achal menot, so at the beginning, he was eating from everything in this world. Right? V'tanu olam hazeh. He didn't leave nothing over of his time for olam haba. The second day, the exact same thing. Zman Amidah, the exact same thing. He took everything out. He left nothing over of his time, again, for Olam Haba. But Yom HaShlishi, but on the third day, which is already the time of the Yeridah, it was burnt. Why? He didn't have any koach anymore for Olam Hazeh. So therefore, all of a sudden, he starts hurting, and this and that. So all of a sudden, he wants to taste things, and he can't. So he takes his hands away from him. And all of a sudden, now he wants to do teshuvah. So the neshama comes to awaken him to do teshuvah, right? And all of a sudden, in order to put things in his things to do teshuvah, amra lo batchila, why didn't you eat today? Right? Olam hazeh, just like you used to eat every other time. So he answered, no, I already filled myself up. I filled up, right, with all these bad things, right? Until when is it going to go like that? So the neshama comes and he says, you should have taken your hand away from the bread, which means, im et ma'asecha, harishonim et hazocher mitcharet alehem, לא די לך בזה שאתה מושך ידך מרבין את הענוגים. צריך סיגופים ותעניות. You have to actually come and take your hand away from it in order to actually come to be מקיים the גוף. ואמר לנו, so she said, שבנו הלכת לעולם הבא, ימים שברו בית. Why didn't you leave anything for עולם הבא from the days that passed? Didn't the חכמים say משנים פאה באלפס? Which is a remez. לעסוק התורה, שהיא א' סמך. What does it mean א' סמך? אלפס is א' סמך. רוצה לומר, לימוד 60 מסכתות. בגלל א' זה אלוף, to learn, right? אולפנה, right? So he says, סמך, what is סמך? 60 מסכתות. ש"ס, right? You have to learn ש"ס. הם משנים ממנו פאה, לצורך עולם הזה. משנים פאה בקערה. רוצה לומר, מזמן מיוחד לעסק העולם right הזה, שגמין לקערה והיא חיה שעה, גמטריה קערה. So שעה is קערה. משנים ממנו פאה לעסק העולם הבא. That means you have to leave for עולם הבא. So he comes and he says, you have to grab as much as you can from the Kiddushat of the Torah, and that's what you're going to do. Right? How could it be that you lost everything? So what was the story of the Tinoket? It's a story to the children of now times. They go against the Torah. The Chacham is going to say it's a Asur, Yomru, that's a Midah Olam. That's what they do nowadays. You come and say, you're not allowed to do this. What do they tell you? Everybody does it. So he says, yes. Yeah, the thieves like you are doing this. What does that mean? Just with you, people like you, that's why exactly what they're doing. Everyone kept on saying it's minhag, and that's why everyone's doing it. Maaseh Tino. What about the story with the Tino? It's a remez the Yetzer Tov. It's a remez to the Yetzer Tov because he's called Yeled Misken Chacham. Amar lo, he comes and he tells them, "Be'ez derech nelech li Elokim." We want to go to Gan Eden. How do we go to Gan Eden? Yeah, Amar, he said, this is Ksara V'Rukav. It's Lomar, derech HaReshaim, שמראה להם היצר הדרך קצרה בעולם הזה, שהם בטרחה בעבודת השם. The derech of the Reshaim is very short, because here they don't have to do anything. The Reshaim, they have everything. החרוקה מצד עולם הבא, but מצד עולם הבא it's very long. כי לא במותו ייקח מקומו הראוי לגן עדן, because when he's going to die, he's going to get anything in גן עדן. אלא צריך לחזור בגלגולים רבים, he's going to come back in a lot of גלגולים, וגם לדום בגיהינם שנים רבים, and he's going to be in many years in גיהינם, עד שיהיה ראוי לבוא מקומו בגן עדן, until he comes to גן עדן. אך דרך הצדיקים שעוסקים העולים בעולם הזה בתורה ומצוות מעשים טובים, היא ארוכה וקצרה, it's very long, because here they have to work, and it's hard work, but it's קצרה בעולם הבא, right? Why? Because he says, כי בעולם הזה it's ארוכה, because there's a lot of work, ומצד עולם הבא it's very קצר, because right when he leaves, immediately he goes to ידע אלוקים לאור החיים, עד כאן תלכו דבר. That's a beautiful Rav Chida in actually coming and explaining, right? That's what he, well, just like we had. So he comes and he says, and this is where we're going to finish, so the one that sins is going in a derech tzara v'ruka, which is going after anat hachomer, the things which are only to our eyes, right? But it's nothing, and therefore, the shofar, which is coming to be me'orer chataim tshuva, chotim tshuva, tzarich hatokel litko b'tzad hakatzar. That's why you have to grab the katzar, in order that the call goes from the katzara and then afterwards aruka. Because he's trying to tell the chataim that that's what they're doing. The chotaim, they're going in the derech tzara, just like you're blowing the shofar in the derech tzara, and then they're going in the aruka. But they're going to have a derech aruka. It's not good for them. אבל הצדיקים שהולכים בארוכה וקצרה, אין צורך לעורר אותם בשופר. You don't have to be מעורר אותם בשופר, because they're already on the right path בעזרת השם.